good. We up. Hey, welcome to Dreams in Action. I'm your host, C. Orson Brown. And I want to give a high five, a fist bump, a shout out to all the listeners definitely tuned in to this Let's Talk Tuesday. Now, I want to pick up from last week when we talked about the subject tonight is still the love, the legacy, and the lack of a father. As I said before, our early attachments impact us significantly. And those early attachments, how we are raised, those attachments to our aunts or uncles or fathers or those coaches or men in our lives truly impact us who we are today. Some good, some bad, some indifferent. But our attachments impact us, who we marry, who we date, how we love, jobs that we take or not take. So our early attachments impact us. Okay, so we want to lift up this subject tonight, the love, the legacy, and the lack of a father. And if you tune in tonight, I want you to go ahead and pull out a pen, pull out a pencil, and just begin to reflect with us and think about your own life as we reflect upon these questions, all right? And so before we start, though, I want to continue to thank our hosts. We are here at the Leaf Affair, the Cigar Lounge here in Killeen, Texas. And those who are ever visiting in the Killeen-Fort Hood area, I want to invite you out. It's owned by a veteran in which we support our own. All of these brothers before me are either retired veterans or still in, okay? So I got my team here tonight. I got my man to my left always is Cornell, I call Big Chef. Also, I got Sean on my right, Cool Breeze, and then also my man Soul. And tonight we have another special guest too, Carl, with us tonight too. He's also an active duty service member. He also has a mentoring program where he impacts young kids' lives. And he has a business called iTrain. And so I want to get into the discussion. And man, Carl, glad to have you with us tonight.
Glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah, man, glad you're looking good. I want to say, man, to shout out to these brothers too. They looking dapper. And that's the essence too. Every Tuesday we come in here, Let's Talk Tuesday. And even when I do interviews with these guys, we want to have on our Sundays best to look good. I think men looking good and smelling good is a remarkable thing. And so let's just start. How you agree?
Yes, sir.
But let's start the conversation, okay? The love, the legacy, and the lack of a father. Last week I want to open up with this third question here is and ask these brothers and let them have the floor. How has your life been influenced or shaped by, your past life with your dad or your father, or perhaps not? And so how have your life been impacted or affected to who you have become today?
I'll start that off.
All right.
I think what mine is because of the lack of a father, my life has been to become the father that I wanted him to be.
Yeah.
The father that I wanted to have in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So that is me. Like I want my kids to grow up with a father in their home.
Yeah.
I want my sons. And that's a big thing. I want my sons to have an understanding of what a man, mm-hmm. what a father, and what a husband is supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want my daughter to understand that what type of man she should have in her home. Mm-hmm. And so that's how the lack of a father, I should say, shaped me to become the man that I am, because everything that he wasn't is what I want to be.
Yeah. What were some of those areas that you think your dad lacked? So
appearance. I'm just being honest with you.
Right.
Because I have brothers and sisters, and I talk to them, and with them it's always, he was a good father, or he was there. But with me, I've never met him.
Gotcha.
Never.
But they older.
But I could have. Yeah, they all.
Yeah, they older, so they had
I'm literally,
experience. Yeah.
I'm like the third youngest out of his children.
Okay.
And it's funny because like I said, like if I still lived in New York, I probably would have met him, but because I didn't want to, and it was good for me because again, it's like the anger in me made me want to be something better.
I got you.
And it's not that he wasn't a good man. And again, I'm here. It wasn't that he was a good man. He wasn't a good father.
I got you.
And again, it's a difference. You can be a great man and not a good father. You can be a great man, not a good husband. But he wasn't a bad man. It just he wasn't a great father. So
Gotcha. And then just him not being there, man, just impacted you.
yeah. And then growing up, and then like I said, then it was a point where I met a man
Yeah.
who was a great father, who was a great husband, and a great man, and that showed me what I can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I was like, okay, I see the blueprint.
Yeah.
Now I can achieve that, because growing up, like most of us have, black, we didn't have that blueprint of what a
Yeah.
black man can achieve or be. So
that impacts us, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I got Carl that's joining us tonight. He wasn't with us the first half, but definitely he has an amazing story. And just going to college to play sports, to work his way through that, to his hustle, his drive. But then also, what I like about Carl, also just some of the things that you experienced, man, in your past life have gave you that that drive to now reach out to other young boys to try to help them along the path, so they would not make some of the mistakes or not have some of the lack by you trying to be present with them, but also bringing other community leaders too to make a difference on young boys' lives. So, man, Carl, I want to open up for a couple questions for you, right? And then go to the other question. Number one, I want to say, what was your experiences like growing up? With your father or not, or what was your experiences like as you were coming up as a young man?
Well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity of being here to be able to share with you brothers and share with the community, because one thing I believe in, that it's not by happenstance that the man exists.
Yeah.
The first thing that God created was the man.
Yeah.
Okay, and if everything is going to derive from the man, then the man has to be in place.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason our families are struggling, the reason we are in America like we are right now, is because the man is out of place.
That's good.
So what we got to do, first of all, is develop these young men to be men. It's hard to be a man or do something that you've never seen.
Sure.
Now, I'm too like you, where my father was on the road working all the time. Left my mom, I guess, when I was about 8 or 9. Working all the time, and he was a provider.
Yeah.
My dad was a provider. He would make sure financially we were taken care of, but I didn't have that time.
I got you.
So what I decided to do was I wanted to be different. I took that and I made it a fact for me to change. And what I said I was going to do, I was going to be there. I was going to be present. I was going to be in their life. I was going to do all the things that he did not do.
Yeah.
So in life, we can sit and pout, and we can take patterns and say what I didn't have, and sulk about it, or we can take patterns that we didn't have and say I'm gonna do something about it.
Absolutely.
So for me, I was in a community. I was born and raised from Pace, Mississippi. And in our community, we came from a village, really. Like, you got a whooping on this corner, and then they call your mama, and then you got a whooping again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You remember those days, right?
Look, I got to raise my glass for that one.
That's something we're missing in our communities now, and it's amazing how many men that shared in my life. Pastor Knox is my mentor, my godfather. Robert Taylor, another man that molded me and mentored me. We did Boy Scouts. We did things around the neighborhood. But you knew you had to be on your P's and Q's at all times, because if they saw you doing something, they would discipline you, and then they'll tell your mom.
Oh yeah, and it gets back home too.
Right fast.
So what was it like though, man? Just because you mentioned your mom, and many of us have experienced that, not having the father present.
Yeah.
Right. So the dad provides. Right, he does that, and I can see parts of my life is a provider.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna make sure. And I used to say this. This used to be my saying, that I never wanted to be ass out, and I think I still have moments of struggle, man. I need to make it. I need to make sure my family is okay. That we're not gonna be poor. We're not gonna be sleeping on the couch. Stuff is not gonna be picked up on the side of the road. Because
lights
you put
ain't
out.
turned off.
Yeah, man,
Water
absolutely.
will be-
You know that. I know that life. And so in one sense, man, I want you to think about this, that sometimes we can overcompensate, because if we didn't have lack, right, dad was provider, so we can do that, but at the same time, perhaps still bringing some of the traits that we didn't have were being available.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about that? All right, well, Chef, Big Sean,
Chef.
Cool Breeze, Chef. All right, so the other piece I wanted to ask too, man, and y'all brothers dance with me, man. Come on, jump in the ring and we spar together. I mean, come on,
over there warming up.
Come on, yeah, man, come on. Y'all got to let this thing flow. Come on and jump in the ring. Hey, you know, we can always get in the ring and then go a few rounds, but come on.
I go 12.
Yeah, I can't do 12 no more.
I go 12. You know me.
So I definitely agree with Carl with the whole village aspect.
Yeah.
And everybody in the neighborhood pretty much raising you. I had the same foundation growing up. I mean, my father wasn't there because my mom separated, but when I was growing up through junior high, I had band teachers who was there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Mr. Harris or Mr. Watson, they will mess you up.
Yeah.
We looked up to these guys, and they were pretty much fathers in our community. So I definitely agree. If a father is not there, for people to take advantage of the masculine energy that's in your community and let those guys guide them and mentor them, and you know what, you can get the same effect, because I wasn't missing out on anything until I got older. That's when I had my aha moment when my dad moved back then. I was prepared to life through a lot of great gentlemen who pretty much groomed and raised me to become the man that I am. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
And that was my situation growing up.
Did you all experience the anger phase? What was that like? Did you experience
I was
anger?
angry. I was literally.
That was my motivation.
Yeah,
every day.
I'm like this.
Every day I set out to prove what you did not do, I'm going to do, and I use that energy. Not only did I use that energy, but what they sold into me, I just felt an obligation from day one for my auntie and my mom to take me to Mississippi Valley State and drop me off, literally drop me off. No Pell Grant, no room and board, no nothing, drop me off. And I had to figure this thing out, right? I'm the first generation college graduate from both sides of the family, and the thing that really sparked me was like because that community surrounded me and expected me to do well, I couldn't go back and fail. I could not. There was no, when the other guys was out doing crazy stuff, man, I knew I could not go back and shame my community and my family.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna cut you off, but the anger you said, I don't think it ever really leaves you.
Gotcha.
Because my thing is, I think it's a part of you that actually, like you said, fuels you. Like no matter what I do, I got like you said earlier, providing for my family. My thing is, you know, that the anger in me still says, you know what, I'm not gonna be with my kids. Not gonna be without their father. And the anger that I have for him, because he wasn't there for me, or he didn't even try to, you know, find me, or you know, or as like, you know, and I don't know, it's two sides of every story. Like I always say, it's three sides of every story. Her side, his side, and then it's the truth. You know, we always know that. But my thing about it is, when your child gets older, it comes a point in time when you say, okay, you know what, let me try to mend this fence. And my thing, it never happened. And before he died, you know, it never happened. Now he dead. Now there's nothing I can do about that. And that even angered me. It's like, okay, now you done died on me, and you never met me. And now I have all these questions that I can't answer.
That can stir a whole nother trigger in terms of dealing with the grief, dealing with the anger, dealing with the resentment. Man, why didn't you choose me, man? And why didn't you try to make amends? You know? So, hey, Cool Breeze, now come on and jump in this ring.
All right. So, as I mentioned before, the presence, he wasn't there. Okay, so I'm in the neighborhood. Shout out to Granddaddy Frank. He's gone and passed on, but I had male influences in the neighborhood. We're going back to the village now, right? So my best friend, Mr. Pete, my best friend's dad, Mr. Pete, he was an example of how a father is supposed to provide for the family. So I learned from that. Okay, and Mr. Granddaddy Frank taught me how to work. Gave me a job as a young kid, cutting grass every summer. Put money in my pocket, and I learned how to hustle for myself. You know, I grew up in a house full of women.
Snow, cutting grass.
Whatever it was, right? So, in being an athlete, a former athlete, neighborhood, recreation, high school, whatever, I was pretty good. But every time I looked in the stands, I always dreamed of seeing my father, but that never happened. My teammates, they had their parents in the stands, cheering them on. I wish I had that. And that affected me, my self-esteem. I needed someone to pull me to the side and mentor me and say, hey, you could take your skills and take it to the next level in college. Or not only in athletics, but in your head.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? But, you know, things happen. Of course, you're angry. But you don't use that for an excuse. So I learned,
Yeah.
I learned how to be a man on
You
my
have to
own
challenge
it.
to a degree.
Right.
My son was born, I was 19. I got married, then my son was born, then a daughter. So I had to learn how to be a parent, a husband, and a man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to fast
All at the
That's-
same time.
Yeah, all at the same time.
All at the same time.
Yeah, all at the same time.
I didn't have, and it's funny I say the village. Like in my village, it was no men. Like literally, I was raised in a single mom's village. It
Wow.
was literally no men in our village. It was no father and mother in the home. There was no father who came by the house.
Yeah.
We didn't have that in our village. I mean, it was all single mothers.
Yeah, I got you.
And I mean, they raised us the best they could. But you know, it's just so much that you can do with a man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it wasn't until and there's something about these Taylors. My best friend, her dad, Fred Taylor, he once showed me. I was about 17, 18, and I started going over to the house, and it was weird because he had this presence about. He wouldn't talk to me. At first, I used to think he liked me because he wouldn't really say a lot. You know, I come in, how you doing? And now, about it. But it was a presence about him. It was a strength about his silence that just I literally could just sit back and I just watch him just do stuff. It's in silence, but and I learned that you don't always have to be seen. Just to, when you walk in the house and you flick the lights on, his job is done.
Sure.
When you come home and
He's paying the bills.
the bills are paid,
Yeah.
his job is done.
Yeah.
When the kids got clothes on their back, he ain't got to say nothing. His job is done, and I learned that.
That's again, we still see how it seems like it's the responsibility of the man to provide, and I still have that traditional perspective. I think men should.
I don't think it's a man's job to provide.
Right.
I think he should provide.
Absolutely.
I think again, my thing is it's like this. If my wife made more money than I do,
Right.
it wouldn't be a problem to me because but I still have to do my job
Absolutely.
as a man in that house.
Yeah.
So even if I couldn't do everything that I want to because I don't have the money to,
Yeah.
I promise you, if I had to go out and work 3 jobs, if I had to go out and I'm gonna make sure that my house, whether I'm again secured, is financially secured, is everything about that house still will fall on me.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think, and I hate it because we always say what a man's job is, and I've never been a big thing about that,
Right.
about what man's job is, because as soon as you say what a woman's job is, we got a whole other show.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, because I think so. I'm not saying a job, but I think there is a responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. That's it.
And let me dance over here a little bit too. There's a responsibility because do you all think that there are roles?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, what are those roles then? All right.
What you got to see now,
Yeah.
you just got to see the change of the trend of society.
Okay.
Now that
Sure.
the woman makes just as much as we do,
Okay.
the woman's mindset is becoming, I don't need a man.
I don't need a man.
That's
So
good.
So here we go again.
Yeah, that's
so,
good.
So we understand our place and what we should be doing. And let me add to that. Yeah, it's our job to provide, but we also have to sit down and first of all, God says our job is to teach the word of God. So it does mean nothing. What profits a man to gain the world and lose his soul?
Right.
It does mean nothing to bring money home
Yeah.
and even pass it down to the next legacy when they have no direction. You
Sure.
missed all. You lost all the direction.
Right.
You have not taught anything. Only thing you've done is provide. So now that next generation takes that money and squanders because you never taught them anything.
Yeah.
So we have to balance that. We cannot we can no longer allow ourselves to be providers. We have to be teachers and educators, and we have to make sure
absolutely.
we teach you how to be a man. I told my dad one time. I said I'm 30. This time I guess I was about 35, 40. I said, Dad, I'm about 35 years old. I said, you never talked to me about sex. He said, well, first of all, my dad had never talked to me about sex.
He didn't know.
He said, I didn't know. So I didn't know the things to talk to you about. I said, well, why would you let the world teach you? Because what the world's going to teach you is going to be totally wrong.
All right.
It's
Well,
gonna-
let's jump in there then,
Yeah.
because you said something key. Here it is. Many of us grew up. We had that village, that community. I still remember barbecues, the streets being shut down. Turning the fire hydrant on and all that stuff, and barbecues. Rent parties and all that stuff. That was a community. But also being raised in the community of women too. How does that impact you? All right, how does that impact you? Because you said something. Yes, society has changed now, and the way things are going now, women are making more and all of that stuff. And a lot of not all women. I want to give a shout out to women who are doing great things and still taking care of families. So this is not a discredit of
I
women.
thought you was going to talk about sex.
Yeah, right.
We'll teach that another day.
If y'all want to talk about that, man, jump on in, okay? So here it is. Let me ask the question: is that if the society is moving to that perspective, do we really follow the trend of society?
We can't.
Yeah, that's what I want to answer. You
can't.
can't. So that still goes that you are still a man.
And
Period.
just like he said,
And I'm not talking about you have to be, I'm the man. No, there's still, I think, a responsibility, as you said, to
as
teach.
a role, right? Our role
to teach,
is to teach,
educate, and to mentor,
is to
and
pass
all of
the
this.
right. And you don't have to be. That's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the breadwinner in the house as a man to be a man.
Right.
And I know a lot of us as men, we get it's like a double-edged sword because if you don't make more than your wife, people look down. Oh, he ain't a man. He don't even provide for the house.
Sure.
I provide again. I can literally show my sons how to become men. And my thing is, if either one of them go to jail, I'm successful.
Absolutely.
If both of them end up in college, I'm successful. You know what I'm saying? I don't literally have to, if as a man, and this go to any man out there who literally, if you feel less than because you think your wife make more money,
that's some other
that's
insecurity.
my thing.
Chef, I know you want to jump in.
Not about
Chef want to jump in.
Go ahead, Chef.
Come on, man. So light that stove again, jump in. I know you like the Cohibas too. You're a Cohiba man.
So this is one thing about women raising men. I think it could be done, but I don't think that's the right thing to raise a man. Period. A man needs that masculine energy.
There you go.
Yes.
When I go back and I think about my childhood growing up when my father did leave, my older brother Kevin stepped up. He became the man of the house at kind of like the age of 12. Now this was the thing about my big brother. Everybody was watching everything that he did. He had to grow up before his time. If my brother Kevin was a drug dealer, guess what? We all became drug dealers. Whatever he did, we did. He joined the band, we all got saxophones and we played the saxophone. That wasn't my dad. My brother joined the Army at 17. Me and my brother Dwayne, we was in junior ROTC as cadets. So everything that my brother did, we imitated. When I was in college and I had to drop out for reasons, my brother drove down from El Paso, Texas, said, get your ass in the car. We got some stuff to take care of. Now, he gave me the energy and the drive that I needed to overcome a lot of stuff as a man. So that is definitely, you need that male energy.
That's
for
good.
Growing up.
That's good. And let me since y'all want to get, come on. So how does dad not being there too allow the world to show you? Since y'all want to, Sean, you seem like you want to talk about sex. All right. So how has the absence impacted you in terms of relationships with women?
All right.
The trial and error is not a good thing in sex.
Right.
It is not.
Speak to that. Talk to me about that.
So here you go again, though. So I again, there are things called generational curses, right? So and generational curses can be broken by education, right? By teaching, right? So for me, my grandfather had 26 kids. 26 kids.
That's a lot. That's a lot of kids.
Well, last time we counted was 26. That we knew of.
No, say that number again, man. I didn't hear it.
26.
Hold up. Let's sing it with me. Up was a rolling stone.
Was his
So for me, so when my dad, when we're talking about this as I got older, we started talking about the family legacy. So for me, I said, I'm going to establish a family legacy where when I die, my sons are going to have something, and monetary and education, right? So again, I have a master's degree, so my goal for them is them to have a master's degree or higher. And not because I said so, because I'm going to provide a platform and I'm going to provide the finance to set you for success. Now, what you do with that, that's on you.
It's on you, right?
Yeah, but my job is that. So when you talk about, someone not teaching you about sex, and for me, so my first conversation with my young men was, if a woman gives you advice, she's giving you something no other woman can give you. That's herself.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is you have to respect that. But if you're not taught that, the street teaches you everything you can hit.
Yeah.
That's what the streets teach you.
Okay.
So and you're a player and you're a baller. So when a woman does it, then she's the other side of it.
Okay.
So what I did was, with my young men, was I said, look, this is how this thing works, and this is what God says we should do with this thing.
Right.
Now, is this easy to do? No, it's not easy to do, but it's going to separate you from everybody else.
Sure.
Because now your seed is in your household and you can nurture it the whole time. Opposed to you trying to nurture something. I pick them up on the summer. I teach them something. Next summer I got to start all back over again.
Yeah.
So that's it.
How has your relationships been impacted? Right,
Yeah,
because all of us have been married and relationships and all that stuff. Come on, man,
I'm gonna tell you.
So how
I'm gonna tell
have you been married, divorced, frustrated in relationships, all of that? So let's bring that to the table.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think the blessing about me was, even though I didn't have a father or male role model, I was raised by women. My mom, my auntie, my cousins, I was raised by women, and my sisters, everything. So it taught me a lot about how to be a man to women. Not how to basically be a man for me, but how to be a man for women. Sure. So that in that aspect, I was honestly I was okay. Like I've always been that guy. That a gentleman first, and then I've always been that guy. Like it's like that part of me. I've never really had a problem with. Because like relationships, marriage, even my marriage, like I said, I've been married 17 years. Well, it'll be 17 in April. And this is my first marriage. I've never been married before, never had kids until I met my wife.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, I've never been that guy. So I've never been in like the bad relationship, or I had stalkers, or I had crazy ex-girlfriend.
Sure.
I've never, because I always treated that woman with the respect that she deserved. And that was always been me. Now as far as like being in a relationship, like I said, it was the reason why I was single for so long, because I didn't know how to be the man that they wanted me to be, and that was the problem. You know how women see women, especially women who have a man in their house. They want you to be that man. And it's hard to know what that man is when you don't even know a man. And I had to learn that, and that's why like. It took me a while to get married, have kids, because I was still trying to understand who I was as a man. Right.
Absolutely. I think we all should take that time, man, to discover who we are as men. And sadly, sometimes we learn as we get older.
Ooh,
exactly.
Yes,
I mean,
sometimes the experience is the best teacher.
Sometimes,
It's
painful. It is definitely painful. So these brothers over here, man, how has your life been transparent? How has the things in which you've learned has impacted your relationships?
So from what my dad didn't provide for my mom, my wife gets all of it. I treat my wife really good. She's respected. She's loved. She is the queen of the universe.
Yes, sir.
Can't no man on this planet do what I do for her. Period. And she knows that. Has everything she wants. Has everything she needs. Never fight. No disrespect. Don't control her. Don't tell her what to do. We have the perfect relationship, but she is my best friend. That's my woman.
You all now. How long have you all been together?
We've been married since 2004. We have been together since 2002.
That's good, man.
And we have never had any issues because we understand each other. And at the end of the day, we're a team.
What's that like? Because what's that like in terms of, hey, you going out, honey, this is what I'm doing, and I'll be back when I'll be back.
So there's no jealousy within our relationship.
Okay.
We have that trust with each other. No jealousy. I'm not jealous of anything she do, and she's not jealous of what I do. Because at the end of the day, we're individuals.
Gotcha.
Don't nobody got no mom and daddy in our house.
What does that mean when you say, hey, individuals? Because here's the thing, you can, there has to be some differentiation. You definitely won, but also differentiation. If you lose yourself, you lose yourself. We're gonna have to roll over to the next segment. This has been good.
I'll tell you something.
So we may have to go past 3
My
minutes.
grandfather used to
So
have
let
the
me
saying-
finish. Let me
okay.
finish. There has to be differentiation. One at the same time differentiated, meaning that you have a life.
Yeah.
If she becomes all of you and you become all of her, you lose yourself.
Exactly.
Do you think also doing that you also can become disrespected in the house?
course.
So what is it? Yeah, all
Of
right.
course.
Come
Yeah.
on, hold up.
Yeah,
Hold
okay.
up. So let me let the brothers dance in, man. I know you want to get in there, man.
I just want to
Come
say
on.
one thing real quick.
Yeah.